Right, so time for part 2 of my series on Windows 365. In the first one, we covered some of the basic stuff that you need to know about before deploying Windows 365 in your own organization. But there's one more thing that I feel you should at least have a basic grasp of before going all in and deploying this company-wide. And that's how it looks from a user's perspective. So that's going to be the topic of this video. I'll cover the basic stuff like connecting in various ways from in various places, how to use it for Teams meetings, and some of the cooler features like the multimedia redirection feature. And I'll also touch upon some of the self-service features that you can give your users access to. So let's get started, shall we? You actually have 3 different options in connecting to your cloud PC. You can do so from a browser, from the remote desktop app, and from the Windows 365 app. Now, the browser version works with any HTML5 compatible browser. So in my case, I'll just use the Microsoft Edge here. And from there, we'll go to windows365.microsoft.com. And from here, I can see a list of my cloud PCs. In my case, I only have one. And I can click the Open in Browser to log into my cloud PC. And once in, I can use it pretty much as any other computer. And I can also put it in full screen mode by clicking the full screen button and then collapsing the toolbar. And it kind of looks like you're working on a physical device. So that's kind of neat. The browser version is kind of limited though. For example, I can't copy paste files between my local device and the cloud PC quite easily. If I wanted to, I have to go out of full screen mode here, and then we have the upload files to cloud PC button here. And if I click that and select my file and open, now this file will be uploaded to a virtual drive that is accessible from my cloud PC. So within my cloud PC, I can open up Explorer and head to this PC, and then I see the Windows 365 virtual drive folder. Within here, I have an uploads folder, and here we should see my file. So yes, it works. It's kind of limited, but let's take a look at a way of connecting that's not so much limited, and that's the remote desktop app. So I should have this installed already. So let's close our browser. Yes, leave. And then open up remote desktop. Now this is the client app, not the remote desktop client that's built into Windows. And the first time you start it up, you have to subscribe to your connections. You have to subscribe in order to log in. So I'll click subscribe and select my account. And then it should automatically pull any cloud PCs or Azure Virtual Desktops that I have access to. So from here, I can double click my cloud PC to connect to it. And once here, you can also see that I just entered the same session that I was in my browser. So that's also a neat thing about Windows 365. You can continue on from anywhere and just pick up where you left off in your session. Now, one thing that the remote desktop app does better than the browser app is the support for copy paste. So when in my cloud PC here, I can simply paste and I have files copied to my cloud PC. Now, the third way of connecting to your cloud PC is from the Windows 365 app. So if I close this now, all right, and then from my start menu, open up Windows 365. There we are. Now this app is still in preview, but it works kind of well. Then selecting my account, logging in. And of course, MFA. And once I'm logged in, you can see that it looks pretty much like the web browser. Main difference would be that this time the button is called Connect and not Open in Browser. But if I click Connect, I will be signed into my cloud PC and will be able to pick off from where I left off. And there you have it, I'm signed in. And that was the third way of connecting to your cloud PC. These methods of signing into your cloud PC does have some differences. As you saw, the browser doesn't support copy-paste, for example, but there are also differences in terms of what self-service features are available. If I were a user, I would probably prefer the Windows 365 app because it does provide a good experience in terms of the session you have. You can copy paste between your local device and so on, but also because of the self-service features. Because if we take a look at the Windows 365 app here, I do have some self-service features. For example, I can restart my cloud PC, I can rename it, or I can restore it from a backup. That is something that I do not have in the Remote Desktop app, but I do have it in the browser. So in terms of self-service, the browser and the Windows 365 app is the winners. But in terms of the experience within the session, then I would say Windows 365 app and the Remote Desktop app is the best ones, and they provide pretty much the same exact experience. One thing a lot of users will probably be using Windows 365 Cloud PCs for is Teams meetings. So let's log into our Cloud PC and join a Teams meeting just to see how that experience looks. So I'll open it up from the Windows 365 app this time. So once here, I will head on over to Teams and my calendar, and then I can click join on the meeting in progress. And if you see here, you can see that the devices here is actually the local devices on my computer, meaning my local camera, my local microphone, and so on. So we can use any microphone, any speaker that is connected to the device that you are connecting to your Cloud PC from. And if I click join now, you can see that the video quality isn't half bad, and it also goes the same way for the audio. If I move around, you can see that the latency isn't all that bad. So using Teams meetings within a Cloud PC is actually a pretty good experience. So let's close the meeting for now and take a look at one other thing that your user might be using a Cloud PC to a lot, and that is viewing video, because YouTube videos and all that stuff. So let's open up our browser and grab a totally random YouTube video, and you can see that it plays fine enough, but it could be better. And the way it gets better is by using the multimedia redirection extension. So if I go to extensions here in Edge and manage extensions, then I can enable the Microsoft Multimedia Redirection extension. And what this does is that it allows for multimedia to be rendered at your local device as opposed to being first rendered in your Cloud PC and then again rendered on your local device. So it kind of skips one step, and that does bring better performance. So if I enable this now, then close this extension page, then we will restart our video. And you can see that the video is being redirected, and it actually looks a bit better. Now, since this feature is dependent on a browser extension, it does only work on stuff within that browser. And it also only supports a list of websites. The list is pretty long, but it is limited to that list. So, for example, if you were to join a Teams Live event within your Cloud PC, then you should probably join that Teams Live event within your browser in order to make use of this multimedia redirection feature. If you're unsure if the multimedia redirection feature is supported on the website you are currently on, then you can verify that by going to extensions. And then let's show the multimedia redirection extension on the toolbar. And from there I can click it. And in this case, you can see that the video playback redirection is enabled, meaning that the website is supported. In the next part of this series, we will be looking at provisioning of your Cloud PCs. So, make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on so you know when the video drops. If it's already out, it should be linked up here, but who knows, I have a tendency to forget these kinds of things. But as always, like if this video provided any value to you, and do leave a comment with any of your feedback or questions. That would actually mean a lot to me. Other than that, yeah, cheers.